Hello and welcome to this episode of Hampton Roads Business Live. My name is Rory Graham and I'm your host, and today we have the pleasure of having with us Náim, who is a water quality expert and manager with AQUA, which is a water conditioning and purification company servicing Hampton Roads and Richmond. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure having you here today. Why don't we just start with giving us an overview of AQUA.
AQUA is a water treatment, purification, and conditioning company. And basically what we do is we go into someone's home and we test the water and we create the quality of water that they're looking for. The motivation behind it was to provide a high standard and a high quality of service in the water treatment industry that is sort of like lax in the past years, and we've been able to successfully provide a very high personalized service, products, as well as results with our service. And as the name says, AQUA, get your water right at AQUA.
Okay, all right. And how long have you been doing this?
I've personally been in the water treatment industry for 30 years. I started in 1988. I started researching water in 1986 after an incident that occurred involving contaminated water. And I was surprised at what had happened, and I wanted to research and find out, what was going on with our water and what was in the water, what wasn't in it. And that was back in '86, and I've never stopped in all these years, 30 years.
So why do you believe that we're having so many issues with water? Some areas more than others, but
I believe, and from my research and years of studying the problem, I think it all mostly has to do with the centralized treatment of water. Municipalities treat the water for the most part, unless you have a private well. But if you live in a city, most of the time you're going to have municipal or quote-unquote city water. Well, the city water is a utility grade water. It's regulated by the EPA, and the EPA sets the standards for the amount of contamination that's acceptable and allowable in the drinking water. However, that standard is based on a utility use of the water. Now, what's happening because of pollution, we need to change that and start educating people that there are two other grades of water. Like, we have 3 or 4 different grades of gasoline for our car engines, but only one quality of water for drinking. And so what we need to do is take the same approach. We're saying, well, you need to go from utility grade water to working grade water. That's for your bathing, household water appliances, and things like that. And then take that water and improve it again to purify water for your drinking and cooking. So I believe the problem lies in the fact that the government and the EPA are doing the best job they can. The municipalities, what they have to work with, I applaud them. But the fact is, when people realize that they're regulating utility grade water and that they need to start looking at avenues to educate the consumers and the citizens, that they need to do something better when it comes into your household. And the biggest reason for that is that they have that approach, the current approach, is because 98% of the water that they treat is for something other than consumption. And so if you have 98% of your product or service being directed to one particular use, the 2% left over is not even, measurable. But the fact is, because this is drinking water, and this is life support water, and this is the water we're bathing in, we're washing the baby in, it's time to take a different approach and educate people, number one, and then support companies like ours who are trying to get this message out and make these services available.
So tell us about the 3 different kinds of water.
The 3 different kinds of water. You have, first of all, utility grade, which most everyone is familiar with. That's water that comes into your home from a municipal water source or a well. People still have private wells. But when that water comes into out of the ground from a well or sent to you from a municipality, that's a utility grade. The second grade of water, comes about when you take utility grade water and you take out the chemicals like chlorine, you take out the ammonia, the chloramines, you take out the hardness. That improves the water so that it's now what we refer to as working grade water. That water is going to feel much better on your skin. You don't have to use a lot of detergent when you're washing clothes, 75% less as a matter of fact. Imagine stepping out of the shower and it feels as though your whole body is covered with your favorite lotion just because the water is soft. Or never having to clean soap scum off the bathroom walls. By going from utility grade water to working grade water, that's the benefit. Now, everyone would agree that the water you drink and cook with should be cleaner than the water that you flush your toilet with. You would probably agree, right? All right. So now you're going from working grade water to purified water for your drinking and cooking, because unless you do that, you are flushing your toilet and drinking and cooking with the same grade of water. So we're saying go from working grade water to life support water by purifying it even further and then having that for drinking and cooking. So your 3 grades of water would be utility grade water, working grade water, and life support water.
Okay, all right. And so can you have conditioned or purified water if you don't own the home or something? Can you do it if you're in an apartment or a condo?
That's a very good question. As a matter of fact, the working grade water normally, or I should say a working grade water system, has to be connected to a water main. Therefore, you can only be in a house or some condos unless they have like group water supply. If they do have their own water line and own water main, then you can put it in there. In a condo or home. An apartment, no. But you can have the life support water in an apartment very easily. So you go from utility grade water straight to life support water by purifying it at the point of use. That's what's referred to the point of use.
Okay. And I guess there's all kinds of different filtering systems.
It is a lot of different filtering systems. As a matter of fact, municipalities, they filter the water. The question is, what type of filter are they using? What type of process are they using? Is it the process that meets your standard, not necessarily the government standard, but your private or personal standard? So depending on the water quality coming in your home, whether it's municipal water or well water, that's one determining factor. The quality of water that you want for your family and in your home, that's another factor. The way we determine that is we have a portable lab, and we bring it to the home, and we test the water, and we show the different characteristics of each of those 3 grades of water. And so while there are various filters. With
your water.
With their water, yes, with their water. And so depending on what they're trying to achieve, we can recommend what equipment needs to be installed in order to get, the quality of water you're looking for.
Okay. All right. So would you agree that all water is better if it's filtered?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Except, of course, if you're washing your car, watering the lawns, you'll need a filter. Right. But now, when you start bathing in it, it always amazes me how people, when we install like a water softener, and they say, I can't believe how soft my skin is just from the water. Well, the reason why that is because the mineral deposits, the calcium and magnesium, leaves a film on your skin and on your hair. I always ask women, I say, when you take a shower and you wash your hair, when you rinse your shampoo out, what's the first thing you do? Conditioner in. Why you put conditioner in your hair? To make it soft. What if the water made your hair soft and you didn't have to buy conditioner? And the reason why that is because the calcium and magnesium that makes the water hard actually remains on a thin film on every strand of their hair. And that's what causes the frizziness. So depending on the purpose of the water and what you're trying to achieve, that's what you would
so what are some of the tips on selecting a water conditioner or purifier that you would have for people?
When I'm asked that question, I like to refer to a pamphlet that the Better Business Bureau has had out for a number of years. I've had it since 1988. They no longer publish it. I'm not sure if it's on their website or not, but they gave our company permission to reprint it in its existing content. We can't, modify or change anything, so they gave our company permission to do so. And in their brochure, they have like 7 or 8, things to consider when you're considering buying water treatment. And I'll just name a few. The first one is they said make sure it's a local company. Make sure that if something happens that they're going to respond to you within 24 hours, or they're going to have a technician, there in 24 hours or 48 hours. And the reason why they say that is because if something goes wrong, you want water in your home. You don't want to have to now go back to a lesser grade water. And once you become accustomed to it, I'm sure you don't want to. Make sure it's a local company. The second thing is make sure that's NSF or WQA certified. And both of those are independent companies who actually test equipment. The WQA, which is the Water Quality Association, they're sort of like the watchdog for the water treatment industry. And what they do is they will test equipment, they will look at your literature, they look at your reputation, and so by that having the WQA seal on it, it gives you some credibility. A step higher is the NSF, National Sanitation Foundation certification. They take it to another level. Now, you have the companies or the manufacturers pay the company to test their products. And once they test it and certify it, it can't be modified. If it's modified, it has to go back for additional testing. Yes. And what that does, it makes sure that the companies that are making claims and the people that are working for the company and making their claims, the equipment has been verified to function in that manner.
There's no bait and switch.
Exactly. And you'd be surprised, unfortunately, how many companies will lead people on because people don't know about this. I call them, they're actually appliances. Just like, a toaster or a refrigerator. Water treatment, a quality water treatment system is actually an appliance. And it's an appliance that is highly needed in this day and time. But back to the National Sanitation Foundation, they do an extensive job on making sure that the equipment meets these standards. On that statement, the only company, the only manufacturer left in the United States that manufactures their own water treatment systems is Hay Quality Water International out of Ohio. All the other companies are outside the country now manufacturing and bring the products in. And the reason why I think that is important, in fact I know it's important, is because they still meet American standards for regulating products and things like that. And it makes a big difference. Another thing to look for is to make sure that the company offers installation, they offer service, and they offer repair on any equipment you have. Unfortunately, a lot of companies will go out, you have people, everyone wants to sell a filter because they think there's money in it. But very few people are interested in getting in it in a professional level. And being an expert in this field for over 20 years, I've been in the industry for 30 years, but I really got to the point where I was very confident in my knowledge over the years, for the last 20 years. And so it's a specialty, and I have a passion for it. And not only not only for the product, but to fill a void that is so important to people, the fact that we don't drink enough water, number one, and number two, when we drink it, what kind of water do we drink? People are spending money on bottled water, and they'd be shocked at the quality of it when I start running through some of our tests.
Well, that's something I was going to ask you. How affordable is this system? I know there's different types of systems too, so there's different levels depending on what problem you have.
Exactly, exactly.
So I know it would have to be, everybody's a little different, but.
That's correct, that's correct. I like to say this as an example. You can have a very high quality life support water system, whether you're in a house, apartment, condo, what have you, for less than your monthly cell phone bill. You can have a whole house water treatment system and a life support system for less than what you pay for cable. And so the units, the higher quality units will have a warranty anywhere from 15 to 25 years. That's a benchmark. When you ask a company, what's the warranty on your equipment? And when they say, 2 or 3 years, you know that the quality is not going to be as good as one that has a 25-year or 15-year warranty on it. Very few companies, only one company I'm aware of that has a 25-year warranty. And they can put a warranty on it like that because of the quality that's built into it, the materials, the craftsmanship, the workmanship. They're not mass produced, they're usually hand assembled. And so they're very, very affordable. And I would say that a family of 2 to 4 people who buy bottled water for drinking and cooking have paid for a system in about 2 years. a good drinking water system, about 2 years.
Okay, so let's say someone's watching this, and I'm sure there are many that will watch this and say, okay, what's the next step? So what do? They're interested, they call you, go to the website, or what?
Yes, I always recommend you go to the website, and we have a questionnaire. And I like to, it's a questionnaire, but it's like a survey. And if you take the time, it's about 12 questions. If you take that survey, you'll learn more about your water in those 12 questions you probably have your whole life. And we have videos where you can click on the video, and a couple of them are 60-second video, another one's like 30-second. You can click on it and you will hear a brief 60-second presentation that'll also educate you. After that, you take the survey, and that is emailed to us automatically. And we'll contact you, and we'll set up an appointment to do a private presentation for you. We'll bring in a portable lab to test your water and get the results right there on the spot. We also offer a small fee to have your water lead tested for lead. We actually send it to a certified lab, and for about 20 bucks, you can find out how much lead is in your water. I mean, that's a bargain all day long.
Okay. All right. Well, is there anything I forgot to mention or that you wanted to mention?
Should I give my phone number, or that's going to...
You can give it to them if you want.
All right. Our phone number is 757-727-0460. And our website address is aquaright.net. That's AQUARIGHT.net.
It's .net, not .com.
.net.
.net. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, if you're interested in filtering your water, as they say, you can either buy a filter or be one.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's very true. If
you're interested in having your water checked out, you can give them a call at AQUA and or contact them on through their website. Take that survey, find out more about what your situation is, and then get a free test and everything from him. I'm sure you would find it enlightening and certainly could be beneficial.
Absolutely, no question.
Okay, well, it's been a pleasure having you here today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate it.
And I wish you continued success.
Thank you very much.
Right,
Yourself
thanks.
as well.